Hello, everyone. Welcome to another IG Live. I am Brad. I am a life coach. I help people that are deconstructing their religious perspectives from, whatever religion they may come out of, whether they're deconstructing beginning, middle, end, whatever it may be, and I help you reach your goals. A little tongue-tied this morning, trying to wake up. Hope that's okay. I have a special guest today, and her name is Jenn, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. So I see that she's already on there, and so let me go ahead and make sure that she can join, and get her started here as we have a great conversation lined up for you this morning, all about I guess you could say things that I was never allowed to learn about because of the background of Christianity. So, with that speaking, I believe she's just asked to join, and I'm happy that she's logging on here. Hey, Jen.
Hi, Brad.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all tongue-tied today.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm just, or it could be just old man syndrome. I don't know which one it would be, so we'll just have to find out, right? So, what's going on this morning? Anything new in your neck of the woods?
Spring is on its way.
Yeah.
I live in the Midwest, kind of outside the Louisville, Kentucky area,
Okay.
and we just enjoyed a beautiful spring or pre-spring weekend weather. It was in the 70s, and so the smile, almost always have a smile, but it's very, very genuine this morning after all that sunshine.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 77 here today.
Where
Uh,
do you live?
I live in Maryland, just about an hour north of DC. So
Oh,
near all the crazy. So
yeah.
it's but far enough outside that I don't have to embark in it if I don't want to.
That
Uh,
is intense energy to live next to.
yeah, no, it's fascinating because not only that, but it's usually a blue state, all of Maryland, except for a couple pockets, and I happen to live in the one of the red pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like always fighting wars, the blue pockets, like these people, the red and the blue. I mean, it's so political here that I'll be honest with you, I hardly ever look at the news. I try not to as much, just because it's all around me in my everyday life.
Yeah, that's
I
okay.
don't need to look at any more.
Right.
Yep.
That's very wise.
Okay, I'm going to totally mess up this name. Bhagya said, "Hey, coach."
Hey,
Uh,
coach.
I don't even know how to say that. I'm sorry. I wish I could say that better, but I don't know how. You'll find I'm terrible with names too, so that's great. But I'm trying. So
Funny.
thank you so much for being.
Thank you so much for having me.
We have a list of things I'd love to talk about. Obviously, there's no way everything that we want to talk about in this time, or at least I want to talk about in this time, right? So
Right.
I've been excited about with the opportunity to talk to you for a long time. And so it's really an honor that you're here to talk. So I really do appreciate that. That being said, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to those that are watching, those that will be watching?
Sure. Where do I start? Okay, my name is Jenn Howard. I am the owner of Gaia Heals. Gaia Heals, I birthed a couple of years ago. It's a platform for healing. So I am what I call a medical intuitive. I can see energy and I can affect change in your energy body and your physical body. So I create healing in that way. I also have intuitive abilities, so I can connect with entities that don't currently reside on planet Earth. So whether you call them angels, master healers, ascendant masters, uh, loved ones that have passed away, we do all that kind of stuff. Uh, Yeah, I specialize in reconnecting people to their spirit guides. That's probably the one that people are most interested in. And then I also teach. I love reconnecting people to their healing abilities. I'm here to facilitate healing, but you also have the ability to access energy, to intuitively see energy. And so I teach courses. I teach you the basics of energy medicine, of the energy body. What does it look like? What are the functions? And how to facilitate influences and changes in those. So
Okay,
that's
that's a
that's me
lot.
in a nutshell.
That-
Yeah.
Thank you.
Too much?
No, not at all. In fact, you burned another question in my mind that isn't on our list, but I'll ask you anyways. Okay, but
Hmm.
okay. So, first of all, tell us about your religious background.
Sure. I was raised Catholic, good old Roman Catholic. I went to Catholic schools until my sophomore year of college. I even went to a Catholic college my first year. So went to church every Friday in school and then every Sunday with the family. And, I grew up in this bubble and I thought the whole world was Catholic. And so as an adult, I go out into the world and I realize just how unique Catholicism is. And all the other Christians thought we were wild crazy. But I had this really, it was this, there was this dichotomy in my childhood, though. I had parents that were very religious, but they were also free thinking enough to allow me a lot of freedom. And maybe that was out of necessity because I was that kid that questioned everything since day one. So I went through uh, the the regular routine, but I was always very vocal about how this just doesn't feel right.
Right.
This doesn't feel like truth to me, and there's something wrong. There's something not right. This message is being convoluted somehow. So I laughingly say that I was a twice confirmation dropout. In
Okay.
Catholicism, as an adult, you go through a big long year program to confirm that you want to, in fact, be Catholic. I dropped out twice at the last minute. I said, I just can't do it.
Wow. So you are an overachiever, but not really. You're like a fake overachiever for the cap.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Hey, all
right.
right. So this is a question I had because, and it's not on the list. So if you don't want to answer it, great. But I understand a lot of my peeps, because I have a following, right? No, not really. But a lot of the people that follow me are getting out of religion. Okay,
Mhm.
deconstructing. I was one at one time. All of that. So they're wary of spirituality, right? I mean, like they're concerned,
Yeah.
like in the past I was too. Okay, because understand that what we're talking about today um, was a big no-no on the list of
Right.
Christian, whatever have you, right? That was like the demonic realm. Don't deal with them. They're voodooists, or
Hmm.
have you. So that being the case, I'm getting to the question eventually. I'm just setting it up. What would you say to the people that are deconstructing that have a fear of religion because of, well, multiple things? What would you say to say, hey, what you do is not um, harmful, is not another form of constructed religion? Those have
Right.
minds and their hearts at ease.
Yeah. This,
On you, so sorry.
no, this is really important
Yeah.
because this is us moving paradigms. This is us shifting how we view the world. So we're moving from this structure of religion that says know God through this structure indirectly, right? So you have these belief systems encoded in you that tell you that you need this structure to indirectly experience all of these things inside of you that you know are there and you want to grab onto them so bad, right? Like if you follow Brad, if you follow me, there are things outside of what you can see and feel in the physical world that you know are there. You don't have words to articulate it, but you are craving it. Um, you're so focused maybe on figuring out what that is, especially the older you get. Okay, so this new paradigm that we're shifting into is all about this direct experience. We say, there's a saying going around, the age of the guru is over. We want these direct experiences. We want to know God. We want to get in touch with this bigger picture, the energies of the universe. We want to feel them inside of our own body somatically. And so I encourage you to see those passions and those little desires that are starting to trickle in as breadcrumbs. So first off, have compassion for yourself because you have lived a very long time one way and you are transitioning potentially and living a different way, seeing the world quite differently. So have compassion for yourself. It doesn't happen overnight. Healing is not linear, or changing your lifestyles is not linear. You may feel really vibrant and excited about it one day, and then the next day you get triggered because something comes up, or you see someone from your old life and they question how you're living now, and you fall back into this despair. What am I doing? Is this real? So just have compassion for yourself. This is why we're here. We're supposed to have fun and feel joy, but we're here to learn. And this is all part of the process, all part of the journey. But I would say have compassion for yourself, but follow these little desires, these passions for this bigger picture that you know is out there. Use them like breadcrumbs. Your passions are leading you to your truth. And then get really focused on this desire to have direct experiences. You don't need anything outside of you, anything externally, to have these profound experiences.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for taking time to clarify that and enlighten us with that. So, that being the case, let's just dive right into what you do. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. First of all, how do you become a professional in alternative and holistic health? Like, how do you go that route? How do you get training? How do you become a professional in that area?
It's tricky and it's beautiful because we're not regulated by the government, right?
Yeah.
So we have certain freedoms, but with those freedoms comes a lot of responsibility. So you have to really be careful of feeling in alignment with when you work with energy healers, because we're out here uh, directly, because here's what I say. So I read books, right? But I'm so connected to these master healers that vibrate at different frequencies. So they're not actually here on Earth. And they are full of wisdoms on how we heal ourselves, right? Because we know that Earth's hurting. We're so physically ill. We have so many diseases. We're wrecking the planet. We're stressed out. We're anxious all the time. And there is a wealth of wisdoms out beyond 3D hearing, earthly hearing. So we directly get those things. So you have to be careful that you're working with someone who is got the right medicine for you. Now, I apprenticed for 2 years with a healer who's pretty established here in Louisville, Kentucky. And so I had pretty intense training for 2 years in sessions day after day after day. So I am continuing her lineage,
Okay.
but her lineage came straight from up there.
Hmm.
So we're kind of just out here creating our own truths, and it's quite beautiful.
I imagine there's got to be an incredible freedom. Number one, that you're not monitored by the government or anything else. Um, say that there are teachers like the one you had in parts of the state. How would you find them? Like, how do you contact them?
You, well, social media is great for that, right? So that's a perfect place to start. You can punch in energy healer, medical intuitive, and we start to pop up. Energy healer is a tagline that you can use uh, and get a lot of pop-ups. And then we're usually pretty supportive of each other. I believe, so when you come and you train with me, I set this foundation for you, but we're all puzzle pieces, right? We're all here to give different medicine. So when I have students come through my programs, they'll use my framework, but they always jump off that platform to curate their own medicine. And if you're really honing in your medicine, if you're perfecting it, becoming a master, there's this really cool thing called, it's a universal law of attraction, and those people find you, and it's a really beautiful effortless process that you will find the healer that you need when you're ready. So my mentor dropped in my lap the moment I was ready. You don't have to worry about it. All you have to worry about is that you're focusing on yourself, you're looking inward, and you're saying, I want to heal. Wherever you're at in life, oh, this is how I used to live. It doesn't feel right. I feel like there's something better out there. And you just say to the universe or to God or the angels, and you say, I'm ready. I just want to heal. I'm ready. So that's my woo-woo answer. But my logistical answer is just go on social media and type in energy healer. But really, I know that when you're ready, they'll find you.
For giving us both perspectives on that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So speaking of that, what is quantum energy medicine? For those of us, there are many of us that do not know what that is. I'm sure they'll be watching this. So what is it?
Let's go down that rabbit hole. You
Okay.
want to? Are you sure?
Hey, I brought you on so we could go down the rabbit hole. Let's go.
Okay. Let's Alice in Wonderland it. Okay. So everything is energy.
Mm-hmm.
We had Newton, uh, who saw the atom, and Newton said the atom is the smallest particle of matter. We know that's not true anymore. We can see subatomically, and when we do, everything's moving. So Einstein said, he said matter's an illusion, doesn't exist. So if everything is energy, then that means everything can be adjusted energetically. That means our physical bodies are energy. It means our thoughts are energy, our emotions, our memories, everything. They're just these interconnecting wavelengths and frequencies. And so in energy medicine, we are able to see with, with our psychic sight, we're able to see this energy. So when I look at you, Brad, I can see your energy body, and physical disease will have an energy to it, and I'll be able to see that.
So you
And
can my oh my gosh, my type 2 diabetes.
yeah, it presents differently in different people.
Right.
But what we would do is we would sit in a session and we'd create this safe container, and I'd be able to kind of open up my vision and open up your energy body and view everything that's going on in there. And so if you have type 2 diabetes, that's a communication issue. So likely, not to put you on the spot, likely you would have some energy interference in your throat. So happy energy is flowing. It's always moving. So when we get blocks, like traumas that happen to us, or stored emotions that we don't fully embrace, we keep it in because it's too difficult, that goes somewhere. It doesn't, when you choke back tears because dad left when you were a kid and life was really tough from there on out because mom had to work 3 jobs, and you're feeling all those things as an 8-year-old, those are literal energy wavelengths, just like your physical body, and they form right in your physical body. And after they've been there for a while, they can manifest physically all kinds of stuff. Women have thyroid problems because of communication issues. Diabetes is in that area too.
All right. So I have thyroid issues as well. So that's good to know. I'm the sludge piece going on.
No, we all do. We all do. It's the nature of living on Earth. It's very difficult. Earth is a low vibration. There's a lot going on. And if you're here right now, you're a badass, because it's not easy to be here. You volunteered. You were like, let's do this.
Okay. I like it. All right. So, yeah, because I studied a little bit on energy, and knowing that I think scientifically we actually never physically touch either. Believe it or not, that I mean, because we're always in a constant vibration.
Right.
It just blew my mind, right? How everything is kind of working. So, okay, so you're able to see the energy. You're able to see the vibration or feel the vibrations as well. All right.
Yeah.
How do you then use that quantum energy for medical purposes, if I can?
We use the power of intention to move energy.
Okay.
So when you are working with someone in a session, and so say I see this stored block, we call them energy blocks. And what they look like is stagnant energy. It almost looks like a rock, and it's affecting your healthy flow. So Brad, if you had just this beautiful, healthy flow going through your heart or your throat, it would feel amazing. And you'd be disease-free, right? Not saying you don't feel amazing, but you would feel even more amazing.
I don't feel amazing. It's okay.
We'll work on that.
Okay, thank you.
Call me after this. Let's work on that. And so we have these energy blocks because, you know, and guys, I don't know Brad's story. I don't know that his dad left him. This is a hypothetical. We're saying hypothetically, you know, dad leaves you and the family when you're 8 years old, and all these emotions, they get stuck in your throat. Your energy can't flow now. It affects your physical body after a period of time. So we go in energy medicine and we pull those blocks out. We go in with intention, with these special powers that we have. We have them because we're disciplined and we work on them. And we pull these blocks out, and then your energy can flow again. And so let me say this too. Do I need to say this? Maybe. Okay, there's someone watching that needs to hear this. The energy body creates the physical body. So the physical body exists because the energy body creates it. It projects it. So it's important to know that, because all of your physical disease originates in the energy body. Your physical body is actually the last one to hear about it. Once you have physical symptoms, aches, pains, diagnosed with a disease or an illness, that's the very last person, it's the very last thing to find out is your energy body or your physical, because it's been living in your energy body for a very long time.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Woo. That's good stuff. All right. So, when you remove those blocks, okay, you're intent, you're disciplined, you remove those blocks. How? I mean, do they move permanently, or is there something that needs to be done to keep that flow going? I know that's kind of a broad question, but
No, that's a great question. I didn't know if we were going to go that deep, but Brad wants to go that deep.
sorry.
I was just going to skim the surface, but yes, there is much more to that. And you're very intuitive. Okay, so here we go. At the root of that block that formed when Dad left the family, when you were a child, that block happened because concurrently you were creating a belief system. And this belief system, and quite often in kids when a parent leaves at a young age, they take responsibility for it. So normally or oftentimes this belief system is, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. If I had been a better kid, if I had gotten better grades, if I had cleaned my room more, Dad wouldn't be so stressed out and Mom wouldn't have gotten as mad at him, and we would still be a happy family. That's what kids do, because kids are black and white. There's no gray area with kids. And so what happens is you create these belief systems as children, and for this one in particular, it is that I'm not good enough. And so those stay stored energetically inside of us, okay? Because remember, everything is energy. Your physical body is energy pieces, and these belief systems are energy pieces that are living inside of you. You go into adulthood, and what do? You carry it with you. And so all of your relationships as an adult, you have this undercurrent of influence from this belief system that lives in your throat that says, I am not worthy. So this can manifest in many different ways: codependency, depression, being very controlling, specifically in relationships and also in your personal life. And, it doesn't feel good. And when some of us pass on with never fully understanding that process, and you do the best you can, but currently many of us are gaining this awareness of what's actually happening. So we're saying something's not right here, and I want to take a deeper look at it. So when you call me and you say, something's not right, I want to fix it, help me, will you look at it? Because I can't see it. Will you look at it for me? I go in and I find the tangible evidence of what's happened. And they tell stories. These energetic blocks, they tell me the story of Dad leaving. And we pull it out and we make sure the flow in your throat's moving nice and beautiful. But how do we make sure that you don't create a new block? Because you're going to continue to have relationships. My sessions are always one part energy healing and one part spiritual advising. So we create new belief systems. We dissect what happened with Dad, and we now have an awareness of what really happened. It had nothing to do with you. You were a kid. Your parents just didn't like each other, right? They had their own issues. Dad was an alcoholic. Sometimes kids don't even realize, my dad was an alcoholic. I didn't even know back then. Right? So now when we go back, and that's why it's so important to have this inner work, this practice of going inward, because you can go a whole lifetime without going back and looking at these things. And so we create new belief systems that say you are worthy, and we really embody it. And I have a myriad of techniques on how to do all of this, how we create this energies for manifesting what you want in life. There's so many cool tools in energy medicine that guide us through that process of making sure as we move forward, you know deep down that you're worthy, and that's going to be reflected in the relationships that you have from henceforth.
So, based upon that, is it fair to say that, like, we have a ton of people going through deconstruction these days?
Right.
These systems they've had since they were kids that was kind of impressed upon them. Um, you know, the struggles, the abuse, stuff like that. So is it safe to say that everybody that's coming out of that kind of struggle, I'm just honing in just on deconstruction, everything has some sort of build up, locked energy, if you will, sludge uh,
Mm-hmm.
in their system that they need to then redo their ideas of what their belief system is?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, religion
Mm-hmm.
deeply seeds belief systems. That's why I said when we first started talking to have compassion for yourself. These changes, these uh, these big lifestyle changes that you're creating by leaving a religion doesn't happen overnight. As an energy healer, I can look and see just how many of these deposits tangibly live inside of you that are informing your mind. We have these tapes in our head that religion, I know in Catholicism, everything was rote. We repeated the same prayers over and over. We did the same rituals over and over. Movements were so ritualistic. They were embedded so deeply into us that the mind didn't need to participate anymore. Our body already knew how to make the sign of the cross, how to say Our Father and the Hail Mary. When it becomes so embedded in our subconscious, those are deep layers in our belief system. Those are deep layers, and it takes time to peel off these layers. It takes time. But it's a beautiful process. Each layer you take off, it's like you can feel a tension release. It's
Right.
like your neck's a little less stiff than it was, your shoulders drop away, and you feel this freedom that says, you know, that wasn't me. That was what was taught to me. That wasn't me. That was my conditioning.
You
And
know,
I choose as an adult my own path and not this conditioning.
yeah, I look at that because you know a little bit of my story in the sense that, you know, I was born and raised and groomed to be a Christian, uh, into a pastor, you know, a pastor of 25 plus years, gone to seminary. And so everything about religion is literally in every part of it's encompassed all my energy in a sense, if I can put it that way, because of all the rituals, because of all the structure, because I've been told who I've been, who I'm supposed to be my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So peeling back all of that, discover who I really want to be,
Mm-hmm.
I really am, is incredibly challenging. And so that kind of leads into kind of the next question I have for you. That as peeling it back, one of the common terms that is popping up nowadays are called soul readings. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what exactly is a soul reading?
Mm. It's beautiful. Everything that I do at Gaia Heals is to reconnect you to who you are at the soul level. Everything. That's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to figure out who we are at the soul level, why we're here, what are our gifts, and how do we best use those gifts while we're here. So these soul readings are, I can't speak for other people, uh, what their offerings are, but for me, I tap into who you are at the soul level. Now, this might be kind of crazy for some of your listeners because this denotes, well, maybe, uh, reincarnation.
Okay.
So, this
Throw that out.
idea,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're okay with that word.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Reincarnation.
Reincarnation. So, this is Jen Howard, but I am not Jen Howard. I'm very detached. Well, I won't say very. I'm working on my detachment with this specific incarnation because I know who I am at the soul level. I don't look like this. I don't talk like this. I look very different. It's me in my ultimate spiritual form. And we decide, it's our decision, when or if we want to drop down temporarily into these physical forms and have experiences to learn. So I'm Jen Howard in this incarnation. I've had many, many, many other incarnations, and I'm here to have fun and to learn and to grow closer to God or Source or the divine. So these soul readings are this macro view. So this is who I am in this incarnation, but there's a much bigger picture. So in my soul readings at Gaia Heals, we get in touch with your spirit guides. I don't think everyone does that, but there's a thing called Akashic Records that holds everything that's ever happened, will ever happen, and is happening now exists in this kind of spiritual book called the Akashic Records. So some people read that and get your soul reading. I just talk to your spirit guides and they show me what you look like in spiritual form, maybe what your name is, even though they're not using our alphabet. We do the best we can. But all this trippy stuff, what you do when you're in the spiritual realms, because we live lives in spiritual realms too, not just here in these dense realms.
Interesting. Okay. So for people that struggle with, let's say, incarnation, and yeah, did I say that right?
Reincarnation.
Did I? See, I'm tired today. You can probably see that all over my. Uh, so the idea and concept, correct me if I'm wrong, is what gives weight to reincarnation is somewhat based upon the fact that energy never dies. Is
Right.
that a common thought because of that, or did I explain that right?
Right. Yeah. When we pass from this realm, it's just like waking up in the next one. Nothing, energy cannot be destroyed, it just gets recycled. So you can think of the soul or the spirit as this continuous cycle of birth and death and rebirth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now you had mentioned guides uh,
Hmm.
and being able to talk to guides. How? Okay, for my listeners who probably have not listened to this all, and I imagine right now it is kind of blowing their minds because when you come out of Christianity, it's like whoa, 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 right?
Hmm.
Like we're always taught this is evil.
Right.
This can't be right, right? So um, when you start talking about guides, obviously being in the Christian realm, you grow up and there's certain kinds only. There's angels and there's demons.
Hmm.
Hierarchy in there, depending upon your religion, or having, and other religions have theirs. Okay, so but I'm just talking about Christianity. Um, uh, how many guides, um, um, and how much influence do actually let me ask this: how much influence do guides have upon a person's life?
Hmm. Great question. You have such good questions. I
Okay.
love I love these questions. I will answer your first question. Most people have two guides, and I see them sitting on either side of you. And one is usually a more embodied soul who you are closer to, that you incarnate a lot together. They have a more solid form. And then you have this more ethereal guide It's more angelic, that is vibrating at a very higher rate, that's a little bit more distant from you, that guides you in different ways than this other guide. They guide you, and that's it. They do not tell you what to do. They do not pressure you. They will never give you a definitive answer on anything. And that will drive some people nuts, including a mutual friend of ours, Informal Mystic.
Yeah.
They are here to guide you, and that is it. They have this macro view. They know why you're here, and they know that the reason you're here is to find your way on your own. So it would be counterintuitive for them to tell you lottery numbers, or tell you, yes, definitely turn left instead of right. That's just not what they do.
Well, that's
Um,
Christianity, though, right? I mean, that's the difference.
mm,
Christianity says you do this and you don't do this, or God,
right.
you go here or not here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that, though.
No, see, that's that dogmatic structure, that patriarchal influence that says, I want to tell you what
Mm-hmm.
to do because I know better than you.
Yeah.
No one knows better than you what's for you in life. And that's why these dogmatic structures are inherently flawed, because there isn't a answer for everything for everyone. Everyone's experience is so individualized that they have to have these direct experiences themselves. You can't, from my perspective, you had to go to the priest
Mm-hmm.
to confess your sins. You had to go to the priest to receive the Eucharist, be baptized. All these things, they knew how to do it. You don't. So let me be that for you. It's very different from how I view the world, which is I know what's best for me. And the more inward energy focused and disciplined I am, the closer I get to knowing who I am at the soul level, the more successful I am at navigating my life. And these guides are here for support and uh, just buddies along the way. They're just buddies. I mean, they're very, uh, very wise buddies, but they're buddies.
They're not like frat boy party buddies.
No, I haven't met one of those yet. I will let you know when I do.
Well, what about? I mean, come on. Okay, so you said that usually there are two
Mm-hmm.
guides, right? So, what if you have more? I mean, like, what? I mean, how do you deal with that?
It's a lot when you have more. And as you go through different benchmarks in your life, new guides will kind of drop in to specifically help you navigate certain aspects of your life. If you're going through big transitions, if you're deconstructing from the church, I can tell you, you probably got a few extras that dropped in to help you
Yeah,
dismantle this monster that you're going through. And by the way, you're doing an amazing job, and don't give up, because it's beautiful to be so connected to you directly. But yeah, sometimes you have a whole crowd of people around you, and they're there to support you. Um, you tune in to specific ones. You can tell them, you guys are being really loud. And I need just a couple of you to step forward right now and speak to me, and everybody else, you just kind of need to stay out there. You can have these discussions with them, this type of communication.
I have a comment down here. Elements of infinite wisdom presenting in different guides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. You'll see the symbolism of these elements of different wisdoms in each guide,
Hmm. Hmm.
and the
Okay.
way they appear to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, that being the case, obviously we have spanned a lot of topics here. Okay, and and there's
Who's
a I imagine people like, oh my gosh, how do I follow all this? This is so much, right? So, and there's no way we can cover it all here. I mean, I've listened to you and Blair talk on IG Lives, and you guys try your best to cover it all. It's just so much there, right? So, um, we're give if you wouldn't mind for the people that are going to be watching this that obviously are struggling with whether or not they can experience spirituality again in a pure form as opposed to what they've grown up in. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what what encouragement would you give to them, and what steps would you give to them?
Mm. Okay.
I'm sorry, I dropped that one on you.
Oh, no, no, that's great. No, I love it. Um, Continue to question everything because it's gotten you this far. And that's really where we see accelerated growth. That's one thing. The
Mhm.
second thing would be, our second piece of advice would be to create and find ways to consistently go inward, right? Because we're moving from the structure where they were the middleman for you to have these experiences. And now you're deciding that you want to have direct experiences. And the way that we have direct experiences is very much through discipline. Sorry if you don't like that word. And inward energy focus. You can seek out people like me or Brad who can help you through that process, or different lineages like yoga uh, that has breathing practices that help you focus and have direct experiences. And what I'm really talking about, is meditation, trance state where you're kind of leaving the mind behind and you're experiencing what the church told you was out there, but you want to experience it yourself. And then lastly, you got to find a community. And these spiritual communities need to align with your energy. Don't just find one and stick with it. And if it doesn't feel right, say, well, this is all we've got. You have the freedom to find your community that perfectly aligns with what you're going through and how you're feeling about this experience. There are so many of us going through this, and there are some that, we're human, they're not going to be perfect, that you don't jive with. Keep searching for that perfect community that is open and won't perpetuate the same structure that you're leaving. It won't look like that. I know community is hard for people. For me, I spent a lot of time individual because I was so scared of recreating the same type of community.
Sure.
And then I got back out there and realized that no, there are beautiful communities out there that have open hearts, and we're all going on different journeys, but we're here to support each other.
It's so peoply out there.
It
Just
very much is. There's a lot of us out there. Lots of people.
there are. Jenn, so anybody that's wanting to know more about what you do, how do they follow you? How do they find you? Anything coming up? Anything you have to offer that they could be a part of?
Thank you, Brad. Yeah, I'm Gaia Heals, Gaia underscore here Heals on Instagram. My website is gaiaheals.org. And I try to be on social media as much as I can so that I'm fully transparent and authentic about what my offerings are, why you need my offerings, and how they can help you. So if you want to go through my IG feed and listen to the little tidbits that I have, I'm here. I'm here for one-on-one healing sessions, are kind of that how you dip your toe in. We sit for an hour and a half and we just kind of look at your energy and talk about what's happening. I also do spirit guide readings. You get like 8 pages, single space, 11 font. It's
That's
a lot to see.
huh, huh. Maybe I should come to you.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
somebody way, they'll be watching this later.
And then I am going to have, if you are local to the Louisville, Kentucky area, I will be having another introduction to quantum energy medicine in our local salt cave in Louisville in the St. Matthews area or Middletown area this spring, late spring. And I do activations around town too. I'll probably have one in the cave. I do red Kundalini releases, which is just this beautiful acceptance of your power. It's laying dormant. And I just help you embrace all that yummy goodness inside of you. And then you just leave and you conquer the world.
I like that. That's cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this to people that happen to follow me. If you don't follow Jenn, you need to. I'm just going to say it just like that. Number one, I think, Jenn, one of the wonderful things about you is that literally you're one of those people that I feel like, me personally, I could sit down and be at total peace with, and feel that love that you give to people. It's quite amazing. Okay.
Thank you for saying that.
So if you don't follow Jenn, let me encourage you to follow her, learn what she's doing, and it is worth your time. Okay, and you know it's difficult for someone like me to say that, coming out of, well, being a pastor and a Christian my whole life, because I've always been taught how evil this side is, and so I can honestly say that it is getting to know Jenn, getting to know Blair, getting to know others that embrace this and see this energy. It will most likely change your life. So definitely give her a follow. She's amazing. Jenn, thank you for being here. Thank you for. I know that you could go a lot deeper, so thank you for keeping it so we can understand.
I hope I did.
I know you could have just said, and the little bit you gave us is like, as it is, but thank you. You articulate it very well. So
okay, good. I worry.
It's all good. It's all good. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and your family as well. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, let's. This was wonderful. Thank you so much. Holding so much gratitude for you, for sharing this space with me, and for everyone who stopped in and everyone who's listening later. Feel into it. Just keep questioning everything and then trust what you feel. Love, you should feel love when you meet your new people.
Yep, definitely. Definitely. All right, Jenn, have yourself a wonderful Monday.
All right. Bye, Brad. Bye, everybody.